Welcome everyone to Weekend Escapades. We have made our destination today, Helper, Utah. Helper, Utah was established in 1881. And you can see behind me here some of the old buildings and things here in town. It was known for its assistance, helping, if you will, with trains and engines that would help the trains make it up the hills behind me over here. Now, what it did was it helped push these heavy loads for mining up the hills, and that's, again, where it got its name, Helper, Utah. So we're going to take a look at a few of the buildings and check it out. Come along with us.
I'd like to add that we're now on Patreon. If you'd like to support the channel, click on the link below and check it out. This was probably one of the most scenic drives we have ever been on. Around every corner, something different. Desert, amazing mountains. Just the most breathtaking drive I think I've seen in quite a while. So we're going to share the town with you and tell you about some haunting tales that live here in Helper. Let's jump right into it.
That's the New House Hotel and the New House building here in Helper, Utah. And this one you can see they're renovating. They're working on the inside of it right now. And they do a really good job of keeping all of these buildings up to date and in great shape. You see the Avalon Apartments right there. The Avalon House, beautiful old building. We're going to continue walking on up the street. You can hear the trains in the background. It is a large train destination here in Helper. Trains going in and out of here all day long. Again, that's where it got its name, as it was the area where the engines were be helped up the mountains to get their cargo to where it needed to go. Right out here in front of the Fine Arts Gallery, it's a studio and framing. There's a lot of art galleries here on the main street, and they've renovated this side of the street here where the old buildings are. And take a look at this old mini bike. I'll tell you what, even if you got it running, I'd be scared to get a good dose of tetanus off of that one. Now here's an old theater. You don't see many like this anymore. This still has the marquee with all the neon. Not sure if this still lights up. It says right on there that it's the Strand. Take a look at the detail in the front of this studio. Or I should say, not studio, theater. I was just looking at the art studio. There's the Hillcrest Motel and Apartments. Look at the old sign there with the neon. Beautiful location. And we don't see signs like this every day. We want to look at the murals on the side of the old buildings. It's the Helper City Studio Apartments. And they've got nightly rates. You see up here the hotel rooms 50 cents and up. And of course, you can always try the new Natural Juice Orange Crush for 5 cents. Love to see those old signs. Looks like these were a little reworked. Take a look down here. Some old hot rod Corvettes. And then another one right here. And these are some good looking cars right there. If anybody knows, you can comment below. Tell me what year these are. I'm not real big on the vets, but these are some beauties. Kind of favoring this one. Nice looking car. Again, if you know the year, just comment below. Let me know. Same goes for this one. I'm not as much of up on my cars as I should be, most likely. But I would assume this is considered a woody of some sort, as it has a lot of wood on it. A lot of detail. Very well taken care of. Let me know below what year you think this one is. So the studio apartments here. Hi. Lincoln Hotel. Vintage Motor Company in Helper, Utah. Take a look inside. They've got some classics. Looks like they've got a lot of Harleys in here. Let's take a look.
On our adventures to a lot of these towns, we have seen a tremendous amount of museums and collectibles. But I can honestly say I have never seen a better display of antiques and vintage motorcycles and vintage signs and gas pumps as I have at this location. It is just packed full of memorabilia. And towards the end here, we're going to see a Conoco gas station that just blew my mind. And we get close up with that one. It is the most detailed gas station I've ever seen. Here at the Vintage Motor Company in Helper, we met Gary. Now, Gary is the owner. He was working there on a couple of these Harleys. So he collects all of these things and put all these Harleys in here. This is a museum you can take a look at, from parking meters to old gas pumps. Just a great location to see. Now, I was walking around and there was a stairway that went downstairs. That's coming up here. There's a big iron door at the bottom, right here. And I asked Gary about it, and he said, come on downstairs and take a look. So this is the basement. Underneath these buildings in Helper, there's tunnels. And he showed us where these tunnels. There's 2 doors inside of this location. One right there, you can see that it's all sealed up, and another one coming up. Now, they had kind of a Shanghai tunnel situation here. They had people that they kept down here. And also there was opium dens and, of course, brothels and some wrongdoings that happened here in town. And there's some existence of that and the old walls and things that are underneath these buildings. So great to see.
So we were told we just had to come back here and check out this old Helper City Parkway. This is a old suspension bridge that's been here. It's being reinforced. We've been here for some time. So we're gonna walk across the old suspension bridge, see if it swings, if it's loose. Oh yeah, you can feel it moving for sure. It's definitely moving. That's a little scary, but it's in good condition. Woo! A lot of movement. Yep, there it is. There's the tunnel. We were told there was going to be a tunnel that you go through after you get off the suspension bridge, and here it is. Looks like it's got a lot of let's call it artwork. Looks like artwork. Power to the cave people. There must be some in here. Getting a little bit of an echo. I don't think I'd want to come in here at night. It looks would be a little spooky probably, but looks like everybody got to do their artwork and also put their names on what they've done. And most everything makes reference to Helper and the fact that it was Coal City. Hopefully you can see it, but right there standing through the trees in the bushes is a Helper deer. Right there. Okay, we were told about these stairs at the end also. If you go to the top, that you'd have a heck of a view of the town. Oh no. Well, looks like we're gonna have to get started. But before that, just have to take another look at the friendly deer. Just watching everything we do. There you are. All right, workout time. I didn't count them, but there's got to be at least 100 stairs here to go up to get this view back down to the town. Whew, about halfway. See you at the top. Now that is natural beauty and natural art. It looks like that rock is defying gravity. And there's the amazing stairs. Just climbed up and got to the top, and well worth it. That is Coal City, or better known as Helper, Utah. You can hear the traffic going by, and in the background you see the beautiful hills, and all that downtown area lies right in there with all the old buildings. And it's still an active coal mining town. And you can see that the train would go right over that trestle there, right through town. And then right below there, that's where the swinging bridge is. And the trains go right through there. We've already seen a lot of trains going through town. And I am winded from these stairs. See at the bottom. You know, walking through the tunnel, This one really stands out. What an amazing job this is. And the art is by David D. Gurul, it looks like. So David, and it says right there, Toast. And that is the artist. And what a great job that is. And I think that's making a reference to Rick and Morty. Same artist, David. And there it is, it says Toast. Another fine job. And even Betty Boop resides in the tunnels here in Helper. Now this lives here on a property right by that suspension bridge. Look at this old wagon. That is amazing. They've got it propped up on the inside with some 2x4s. With the old wood wheels. Like double-sized wood wheels on it. Never seen one like that. It looks like an old circus wagon, like a train car on top of a frame. Look, it has like a leaf spring under there. If anybody knows what this is or knows anything about a wagon like this, let me know in the comments on that too. I'm seeing some things I have never seen before here in Helper. This is what we're talking about in Helper. We were just talking with Gary from the local shop there. He's got a museum full of Harleys. And he was saying that they're restoring this town quite a bit. You can see what they're doing here with this one. They're stripping this building down. You can see the old archways. I don't know how old this build is. This strikes me as something that would be built in like the 40s with the archway constructions. So here's a good example of the old building that they added on here to one of the original existing brick buildings they had here in town. And you could tell this whole town has a tunnel system under it. As I said, all these buildings have a basement, and again, the tunnel system. And this is proof of that, because behind this building, the old awning that's here, and then underneath, the old stairs that went down, right in that doorway there. So that's a good example of how all these, they had some less than honorable things going on in the basements of these buildings. There's an old metal trap door right there on the back of the building as well. There's another example right here next to the building. You can see the awning, as they had these stairways that went downstairs in the basements of these buildings.
Now this location here that's coming up is the Gateway Bowling Alley. Now where the alleys are in this bowling alley, they say that there used to be a stage when this building was back in its day in the 40s, that they held a couple of funeral services here. And one of them was a service for a young girl. And they say that her spirit still haunts this location today. And this is location 2. This is the old Kiva Club. And they're renovating this location. But it's said that there was an opium den down on the bottom of this, and it used to be a brothel. So there is a tremendous amount of spirits that haunt the basement of this location, as we have seen this on Ghost Adventures, the TV show.
So this is Helper's Saturday Vibes. And what they've done is they've worked a tremendous amount to get these events going on. As you can see here, all the street vendors are going to have live music in the park. They're going to have a beer garden. It's an amazing event that they've been able to put together. It took a tremendous amount of work because they're bringing a lot of restaurants and just restoring this town and bringing it back to life. And it is really there. The old buildings are looking amazing as they have done a significant amount of work to keep them that way. Take a look at the old signs. They're keeping a lot of those. And a lot of the old neon is still lit up at night. I wish I could show you that, but our time is limited. But the town is popping for sure.
Met a couple gentlemen here that put on the Spook Show in Bryce, Utah. You need to check that one out. It's a 30-minute walkthrough in the middle of the desert with a southwest feel.
It's amazing how many vendors are out here. A lot of crafts, a lot of homemade things, and a lot of really nice nice items. There's some custom painting going on. We're headed up the street to where the park is, and you can hear the music starting to kick off in the background in the middle of what used to be a ghost town and is now just an amazing old town of Helper. Mistaken, that looks like a giant Muffler Man with an axe, a pickaxe in his hands for coal miners. But I think that's an old Muffler Man. Let me know if it is for sure, but looks like an old Muffler Man turned into a coal miner.
Just look at all the old signs and murals that they preserved in this town, and that's what gives it such a, I guess, a warm feeling when you go there, because everything is in such great condition and taken back to the way it was years ago.
Here's a closer look at that marquee. You can see they've lit this all up with neon. Amazing. The old ticket booth. It looks like aluminum that they've put around that. It looks fantastic. It looks old, and yet everything still works, and I guess it's all redone, so all the neon and everything. But this is a great old marquee for the theater here. I didn't notice is over there above the Fine Arts Gallery, Studio and Framing was the original J.C. Penney Co. building. I don't see J.C. Penney's sign in many towns. I've heard of the buildings that they were there, but that one is still sporting the sign right above the building. And just walking up here to the Helper State Bank, you can see the old Knight Depository right there. It looks like a fairly old piece of iron. And they've restored this really nice. You can see the old lights out front. Got a crystal chandelier inside. Done a really nice job of keeping all these buildings in great condition. This is an original old cafe sign for the Holiday Inn Cafe that was here in town, and look how old that is, but they've got it inside of one of the local buildings.
Now, this historic town was born in 1881. It's the result of the arrival of the Denver and Rio Grande Western Railroad. The town got its name, of course, from the fleet of helper engines that were stationed at the mouth of Price Canyon, ready and waiting to assist with the trains on their way to Soldier Summit.
And all railroad towns have an old caboose, and here's an amazing old caboose right here in Helper. I'm always fascinated at how heavy all the running gear is on these trains. Something caught that in Bennett. That's some heavy steel. It makes me want to learn a little bit more about trains, because look at all that under there. A lot of machinery that I don't understand. I know the wheels turn and they stay on those tracks right down there, but that's all I know. Not seen that yet, but they have a lot of railroad style. This is one of the things I know they use to work on the tracks. Beautiful piece of art. It's an old rail car to check the tracks to go up and down. And what do we have over here? This looks like an old stove. Very old. That is something to look at, right? I haven't seen one like that. And these are the steam engines in Helper, Utah. You can see them here. Now, these are the steam engines that used to help those trains go up. Again, that's why they call it Helper, because these engines help the locomotives go up and down and push them up the hills. Now, what this says is, may the miner's safety lamp burn forever to remind us of those who lost their lives in these coal mines. They've got a beautiful statue carved out here. This is in front of the museum here in Helper. You'll see right down there they have the La Salle Hotel and Cafe, the old sign there. And those are the highway signs where we're going to be heading out of here with the La Salle Fine Foods. This building on the end is pretty amazing. I love the glass that they have in the front. The old squares. No shortage of well-preserved buildings here in Helper. Absolutely love it. And I see an old Champion spark plug sign on the side of a building right over there. If you haven't seen that, that's an old mural. Right down there, Champion spark plugs. Well, this is out front of the Carbon Hotel. You can see a couple of these locations used to be brothels. Pretty sure that was one, and that's what they're making reference to right up there. So South Main and Locust a beautiful Conoco gas station, completely remodeled. Let's take a closer look at it and see all the details. Continental Oil Company. Now, I've been on Route 66 and seen a lot of locations, but this one is remodeled to perfection. Tire and tube repair. It's got the old V8 hubcap right on it. Very detailed, very well redone. Now that's not Mater, but it's definitely an old tow truck. Definitely looks like something out of the movie Cars. It's an old motor oil cart. 75 cents per gallon for oil. Water pump. Filtered gasoline. Amazing. Now I didn't know this was in Helper. And this is where that Champion spark plug sign was. But look at the details on this station. Everything's detailed here, including the Conoco sign out front. The Lucky Strike filters. There's an old cigarette sign flipping around up there. Hoses, service and parts, because not just a gas station, but a service station. I have no idea what that view. Oh, it's a Buick. Looks like it's a Buick 8 is what it says on it. The windows are blown out. It's got all the original oil cans and signs inside. What a beautiful job they've done remodeling this station. There's another Buick 8 in a little better condition. And again, all the original old signs and old tires. I am absolutely impressed with this station. Hopefully you can see in there real good. The old fan. I just hit the camera on the window. Coca-Cola machine and an old Conoco hat right up there. The old Coca-Cola rack right here in the wooden crates. Collectibles galore inside this station. And even outside, the old Coca-Cola machines. Air and water. There's no way that works. Oh, I would really be impressed if that was the case.
Now, a few years back, Helper had its problems just like any town and goes through a little bit of a growing pain or a lack of growing pain. But now, Helper's come back. And I encourage everybody to take a look because this town is beautiful. We hope you enjoyed our visit here to Helper, Utah. And until our next adventure, goodbye from Weekend Escapades, and we'll see you in the next one.